In this video, I'll be covering question 4, part A from the 2018 AP Calculus AB free response no calculator allowed portion of the test. I cover parts A, B, C, and D all in their own individual videos, so if you want to see my other solutions, please check out those other videos. Alright, so what we're looking at here is a pretty common problem that they like to throw at you on the free response section. They give you a table of data, and from that table of data, they want you to estimate h prime of 6. Notice that they don't want to know exactly what h prime of 6 is, what the derivative value is. They want you to approximate it. And so when you're approximating using a table, you approximate your instantaneous rate of change by using an average rate of change. So the derivative is going to be approximated by finding our slope around it. And what you want to do to pick the points that are going to approximate it is find out where that value, so this would be t equals 6, you want to find the values on either side of that value. So t equals 6 would have been right down the middle right here. So the 2 points on either side of it would be this point here and this point there. So we would have the point 5, 6, and I would have the point 7, 11. And now I'm just going to use those points to plug into a standard slope equation to approximate my derivative. So I would call that x1, y1, x2, y2. It really doesn't matter which you label which. Just label them to kind of make it easier to plug in. So then h prime of 6 is going to be approximately, and then we use our slope formula. So y2, which is 11, minus y1, which is 6, over x2, which is 7, minus x1, which is 5. So out of there, we end up with 11 minus 6 on top gets us 5, 7 minus 5 on bottom gets us 2. So h prime of 6 is approximately 5 over 2. Now the second part of this problem wants us to use correct units on that approximation, and then they want us to interpret the meaning of h prime of 6. So when I'm going to do units, I always kind of go back to standard derivative notation. dy dx. This is the change in y units over the change in x units. So on this problem here, the x value would be the t, the y value would be the h. So what you're really looking at when you're talking about a derivative is dh dt. And so now that helps me see what my units should be. So the h units are meters, the t units are years. And so here this would then have the units of meters per year. Then to interpret the meaning, what you would do is you would start up at the top and you would say at time t equals 6 years, whatever that meaning of that variable is, the height of the tree, that's what the h is, that's what we're talking about here, is, and then as you come through, you need to tell them whether it's increasing or decreasing. If we have a positive derivative, remember that that tells us that it is increasing. If we have a negative derivative, that tells us that it's decreasing. So our little model here says that we've got a positive derivative. So the height of the tree is increasing at a rate of, and then that's where you would put in your derivative value. And so you would say this at a rate of 5 over 2 meters per year. So not a very difficult problem, and once you've done it a couple of times, it's pretty straightforward to figure out what your units are. And that meaning game is always, it's basically the same sentence, just replace whatever your y value is piece that you're talking about here, and whether it's increasing, decreasing, and then what your rate solution is. So this problem would have been worth 2 points on the actual test for us, so we would have gotten 1 point for getting this portion of the answer correct, and we would have gotten another 1 point for getting our interpretation correct. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, please click that like button and subscribe, and also share it with your friends and anyone else you know who might be crying about an upcoming AP Calc test. You can find more videos from me, more sample AP Calc questions, and my complete AP Calc study guide over at my website, apcalcprep.com. Have a great one.